Welcome to an overview of strategy, execution, and the KeyneLink process. Hello, my name is Bruce Hodes, and I'm a business consultant specializing in strategic planning and strategy execution. Today, I'm going to address 4 business enigmas and teach you 3 simple steps to overcome them. In this presentation, you'll learn about strategy execution, the key elements of the KeyneLink program, and what it takes to establish execution management in organizations. The information contained in this presentation is available to you upon request, so please don't stress over taking great notes. Just sit back, listen, and absorb the presentation. Time and energy goes into yearly planning. Over the year, keeping the leadership team and the organization focused on execution becomes a problem given day-to-day demands. What did this result in? A strategic plan that goes untouched, a lot of wasted time, and frustrated employees. Research shows that over 80% of organizations are unable to implement their strategic plan. The quote, "Vision without execution is hallucination," speaks to my point. What exactly is execution management? Execution management is the process of clarifying, deploying, and achieving organizational initiatives through dynamically and actively leading, guiding, and directing people toward the accomplishment of those initiatives. My definition of execution management also encompasses implementing the corporate annual initiatives and demonstrating the organization's core values through employee behavior. By focusing on the initiative and core values, an organization is able to implement their strategic plan. Why is execution management so important? Research shows that only 17% of company strategy get fully implemented. That means 83% fail at implementing their strategic plans. Execution management is really important because not doing it costs the company a lot of money. It represents missed opportunity and missed revenue. What are the underlying causes of failure to execute an organization's strategic plan? I break it down into 4 enigmas and questions. 1. How do you ensure follow-through and implementation of the strategic plan? 2. How do you make time to coach your employees and direct reports? 3. How do you make the core values of the organization relevant to day-to-day employee behavior? 4. How do you make the annual performance appraisal more than something that is disliked and disrespected? Let's look at each of these questions in more detail. Enigma number 1. How do you ensure follow-through and implementation of the strategic plan? Here you see a typical planning process. An organization and its leadership team can spend a lot of time and effort creating a strategic plan. They may even bring in a bald-headed consultant like me to facilitate. Creating the plan, however, is the easy part. Implementation and execution of the plan is the real challenge. How do you truly ensure that a company is aligned to the strategic plan and focused on executing? My breakthrough came when I embraced an execution management philosophy called KeyneLink, which I will elaborate about later. Enigma number 2. As a busy manager and business leader, how do you make time to coach and develop your employees and direct reports? How do you find time to meet with your direct reports and discuss their progress on goals? How do you know that your employees' actions will directly and positively impact the initiatives that have been outlined in the strategic plan? How do you even know if they've engaged with the strategic plan? Many of us intuitively know that we should and need to meet with employees regularly to provide coaching and receive feedback around issues. Here's what you as a manager and leader need to understand. No feedback equals no performance improvement. How did the baby go from crawling to walking? As the baby engages in walking, the floor gives feedback. Thud, not that way. Thud, not that way. Oh, now you have it. Notice no thud. Older kids master the bike or skateboard or rollerblades through the same process of feedback. Eventually, they end up doing more tricks and falling less often. Are you making the connection here? Humans learn, grow, and develop through failing and feedback. It's part of the learning process. Enigma number 3. How do you make the core values of the organization relevant to the day-to-day employee behavior? The core values sound great. They are lofty and they are inspirational. The leadership team typically feels exhilarated at their creation. Conversely, for most employees, core values are seldom relevant. They are not accessible or usable. To be usable, values must revolve around behavior. Then managers can use these behavior-based organizational values as a template to coach behaviors. Now, are you ready for the 4th enigma? Enigma number 4. How do you make the annual performance appraisal more than something that is disliked and disrespected? This one has especially plagued and vexed me throughout my long blood-sucking consulting years. Everyone hates the annual review process. To start, no one likes feeling judged. Managers at best find annual reviews flawed. Employees find the whole thing meaningless. The biggest issue I see with the yearly appraisal system is that it takes place after the fact. Appraisals are not about coaching and development employees for improvement and performance enhancement. Appraisals are all about rating past performance, and as such, they are missing the point. So these enigmas were troubling, and I was losing sleep until I found the missing link. The methodology of KeyneLink solves all of them. It is a strategy execution management system that A. aligns managers and employees' job accountability and goals with the organization's yearly initiatives. B. monitor how company values are integrated and demonstrated in managers' and employees' behavior. And C. helps ensure that managers hold progress and coaching meetings with their direct reports. Oh, and did I mention that it is all supported by some nifty internet-based software? So, how did this process work? Through 3 simple steps. The first step in implementing the system is defining and outlining the company's yearly initiatives and focus. Typically, these goals, objectives, and initiatives are the product of the aforementioned strategic planning process. The clarification and articulation of the foundation data is what paints a clear picture of the target for everyone in the organization to aim for. You can't hit a target you can't see. What follows are screenshots taken from the actual KeyneLink program. Here is an example of a mission statement as it is actually displayed in KeyneLink. Here is an example of some of the initiatives of a company that we work with. Now we are ready to introduce the next very cool and very unique aspect of this execution management methodology: creating values. However, these are not the typical types of values we refer to in common corporate speak. Instead, these values are behavior-based. Imagine that everyone walks the talk of the organization's values. If the company has value based on behaviors, managers can use them to coach their direct reports. Utilizing this methodology is a way for 5 or 6 values of the organization to become truly relevant to employees and managers. Here is an example of core values that describe behaviors. All of this foundation data is displayed on every KeyneLink user's dashboard. That way, every KeyneLink user sees this every time they log into KeyneLink. Once this foundation has been created and documented, we can now move on to the next step. 2. The second step in the KeyneLink process is creating performance agreements. These are agreements between a manager and their direct report. These are created by the employee and aligned with by their manager. They reflect the employee's performance commitments, including their primary job responsibilities, PJRs, and their goals towards accomplishing the company initiatives. The performance agreement paints a clear picture of the target for each employee. The execution management process starts at the top. The first person in an organization to create a performance agreement is typically the CEO, followed by the manager and then the employees. This process is replicated with all managers and employees who will be utilizing this execution management system. Here is an example of how a sales manager outlined his PJRs in KeyneLink. Employees and managers, in their own words, define their 4 to 6 PJRs. PJRs are day-to-day accountability and activities that do not change that much on a year-to-year basis. PJRs are not as detailed as job descriptions. In the KeyneLink program, each PJR is created separately and assigned to the current performance period. Once an employee defines his or her PJRs, he or she submits them to their manager, who will give feedback and offer editing. After the PJR is approved by the manager, its status icon appears at 2 figures shaking hands. Drum roll, please. The beginning of alignment occurs. Now here is a goal for a sales manager, Steve Becker. Steve sets 3 to 4 quarterly or yearly, it's up to the organization, goals and milestones such as this one. Goals are clear, measurable, and require results by a fixed date. They are written in the employee's voice. Employees decide the measurement criteria for each goal. He or she defines what it means if the goal is missed, met, or exceeded. The exceeded measurement criteria provides a natural and powerful way for employees to focus on stretch goals. Goals entered in the KeyneLink program are linked to and support the corporate initiatives. Then managers give feedback and coaching. Once the manager and employee agree, the manager approves the goal. I love it. when alignment occurs. The third step in the KeyneLink process is progress meetings. These are regularly scheduled communication meetings between the manager and their direct report. The meetings are about 30 minutes every 2 months. Their purpose is to discuss the progress being made towards fulfilling the PJRs, achieving goals, and demonstrating the organizational values. At the meetings, real achievements are celebrated. At these meetings, next steps and follow-ups are designed. During this time, the employee has the opportunity to give the manager feedback as to how he or she perceives the company in meeting its corporate initiatives. The idea that the employees want feedback from their manager and want to give feedback to their managers. Communication is valued. Ultimately, the relationship between managers and employees should be a two-way coaching partnership. These meetings are the heart of execution management. No meetings, and you have no execution management. So how do the meetings actually work? Prior to the meeting, both the manager and the employee score the company initiatives and core values along with the employee's progress on his or her PJRs and goals. After or during the meeting, the manager records the final scores and then the employee is able to make final comments. In essence, the meeting is a gap analysis between the employee and manager's assessment. These scores are captured in a progress report such as this one. Remember, these meetings are set up in an atmosphere of collaboration and discussion. The meetings begin by letting the employees share their thoughts and concerns about the goals they have. Managers can ask questions such as, what do you think is going well in terms of your PJRs and goals that we developed together? Are there any you have concerns about not achieving or that you feel are off track? If the employee expresses concern, the managers ask questions like, why is that? Is there anything we need to do so that we will work more effectively together? At this point, changes to the employee performance agreement can be discussed and agreed upon. Then the meeting moves into discussing the elements of the progress report. The first part of the report shows the employees' ratings of the corporate initiatives. Here, managers discuss the employee's perception of the status of the corporate initiatives so they fully understand them and they're important. The second part of the report shows the employees and managers' scores for the employees' primary job responsibilities. PJRs are scored for 3 levels. Missed is 0, met is 1, and exceeded is 2. First, managers talk about what the employee is doing well. Then they discuss any gaps in the ratings between themselves and their employee. If there are any zeros given, managers discuss the reason why and suggestions on how they can be addressed. The third part of the report shows the core value scores. Employees are only ranked on 2 levels for core values. Not met is 0 and met is 1. That's because these are minimal behavioral expectations or standards for each person. And in the goals section, goals are scored like PJRs on 3 levels. At this time, the manager and employee clarify goals and tasks, change target dates if needed, and find out what's getting in the way of making progress towards the goal, if that's applicable. The purpose here is to have an honest discussion of what is and is not happening around each goal. It's important to look at the measurement criteria on each goal to make sure they are clear to both manager and employee. Now let's go over each enigma and see how it had been resolved by the previously missing link, aka KeyneLink. 1. During the year, how did the company, the CEO, the manager, and even the notorious facilitating consultant keep track of what employees and executives are doing to implement the organization's strategic plan? Answer: everyone's goals are tied to the initiatives, and there are frequent meetings regarding how the employee is progressing in supporting the corporate initiatives. 2. As a manager and business leader, how do you make time for the coaching and development of your employees and direct reports? Answer: this is where the bi-monthly progress meetings come in. 3. How do you make the core values of the organization relevant to day-to-day employee behavior? Answer: during the year, employees and their manager are regularly view the employees' day-to-day behavior in light of the organization values. Both employees and manager are asked to tangibly rate how the employees have been behaving given the corporate values. Number 4. How do you make the annual performance appraisal meaningful instead of something that is disliked and disrespected? Answer: in this type of performance coaching, the yearly appraisal system becomes quite simple. It's the result of the process. The progress reports from the bi-monthly meetings are compiled, and the yearly appraisal is the output of the system. It is understood and respected. In addition to addressing the enigmas, the KeyneLink program provides a number of reports that give strategic and high-level data to the CEO and his leadership team. Here are testimonials about how KeyneLink has helped my clients. One CEO who is utilizing this methodology reported that it forces him to talk about progress on employee goals and give feedback to his direct reports. He said, "I know I should have always been doing this, but I never made the time. This methodology allows me to do this." Another employee said, "It's great. I know what is expected of me, and this system also allows me to give feedback to my manager." So KeyneLink is the link that's been missing between strategy and execution. When you have the structures and processes to manage execution at an individual level, it skyrockets your chances of actually achieving your initiatives and your strategic plan. By utilizing this method of execution management and alignment with my clients, I have seen dramatic improvements in the implementation of the strategic plan. During the year, they are actually relating to and implementing their planning in a new and a dynamic way. Their company and their employees are now aligned and focused on their corporate initiatives in a way that is causing improved implementation. I am actually now Enigma free. I have stopped going to all those Enigma anonymous meetings. I'm fulfilled, a changed and much happier consultant. Really? I hope this stimulates your thinking regarding execution management and performance. Look and see how you can apply the ideas and methodology in your organization to execute your strategic plan and align your corporate effort for true and lasting results. We at CMI can provide you with a combination of coaching and teaching that results in 1. Clarification of your mission, vision, core values, and strategic plan. 2. Identification of your organizational initiatives from your strategic plan. 3. Alignment of the senior management and their direct reports with the ability for this process to cascade throughout your organization. 4. A management team that knows how to conduct powerful progress meetings that ensure success for your company. Thank you for listening to my presentation. If you like what you have heard and want to learn more about KeyneLink or CMI, please don't hesitate to call me at 708-383-7970 or send me an email. If you'd like to share this presentation with others, please click the share button. And again, thank you for listening.